Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Sportycast Football. We are with another episode today, episode 89, after our international break, I guess, where we had a kind of a week break. And I'm joined today by Jason. Jason, how are you doing?
I'm good, sir. I'm good. Happy to be back. It felt like it was an extended, like an off season almost. I didn't think I was
Yeah,
on for a few, but happy to be back. Happy to be talking about football again, man.
yeah, it's great to have you back as well, and it's been a break for me as well. It's also been a break for you, Nikita. Nikita, you've been away for a while. It's good to have you back. How are you doing?
Bye, Donkey. I'm very well, thank you. Cannot complain. Yeah. Cricket result at least today is good. So we take the small wins. We take the small wins, the daily wins.
Yeah, I mean, after the weekend, I was quite disappointed, but today's win we'll take, unlike the Sunday's
And
win where we kind of lost.
yes, yes. Even though we are still all reeling as a country, as South Africans, about Sia and Rachel Khaleesi,
Oh
I'd
yes,
say
of
my
course.
thoughts and prayers to that family. We are
No,
all
for sure.
impacted.
I'm not sure how far to take the sarcasm, so I'm just gonna move ahead from there. In
No,
today's
you guys
episode,
are fit, isn't it? Or is he gonna launch like his rap career now, or is he gonna go on the hottest form of his life? Who knows?
look,
This
I don't
is
know.
we,
I don't know.
we
Love is
need to bring back
blind.
one more.
Season 14.
That's actually a good call. But we first need
yeah.
him to bring back the next trophy, and then you can do whatever he wants from there after. Like we
I
just
like
need one
that.
more, and then he can do whatever he needs. But yeah, in today's episode, we are going to be covering what happened in Game Week 8 this last weekend of the Premier League. I'm going to ask my esteemed guests a little bit about managers, I guess. Just one question about some managers and who we see as going to be the first one to go, things like that. And then we're going to move on to the big game this weekend, of course, between these two lovely people, Arsenal against Liverpool. It's going to be a cracker. I'll try and keep them on point,
Mm.
but I'll also be instigating quite a bit. So we'll see how that goes as well. But let's start with this weekend, and I'll start with actually both that I want to talk about is going to make Nikita happy. So let's start with her team, I guess, and let's start with Liverpool. Liverpool this weekend
Mm.
playing really well against Chelsea, a 2-1 win. How did you see the game going, Nikita? Do you feel like Chelsea were kind of a bit more impressive than you thought they were going to be?
No, 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 no. I think Chelsea have started the season really well. I mean, they really look good. I mean, look, they're still conceding, kind of silly goals, and look, they still, um, you have the Nicholas Jackson up front, so not optimal. But look, I think they've looked much better, a lot more cohesive. Maresca's style of play or his man management or something he's doing is definitely resonating with him. I was quite concerned because I thought it was going to be quite embarrassing if we lose to them on the weekend. But ultimately, look, I think again a very professional performance from Slot's team. I've been trying to kind of I don't know, yeah, just digest the difference in playing styles from Klopp and Slot, and it's like going from. Like a rock and roll to Benitez. It's really a slowdown in pace. But we cranking out the results. We keeping it tight at the back. So can't be too disappointed. And I don't think we played our best match by any means this weekend. But
True.
happy to take the 3 points. Happy to take the 3 points.
Yeah, and that
No.
leads on to my next question that I wanted to ask you is that you've been quite vocal about kind of, not enjoying or not kind of backing the new Liverpool regime, I suppose. Have you been warming
Mm.
up to it slightly as they've been going on? They've been cranking out the results. Have you been warming up to it a little bit here and there?
No, not
Okay.
really. I don't. The reality is like, and let's be honest, like call a spade a spade. We haven't had super challenging teams to play as yet.
Yeah.
But this is probably our most challenging week. Kind of three massive fixtures against top sides who are performing well. So maybe my outlook and my review will change next week, but it is a bit of a drag to kind of see this less energetic style of play versus what we've been used to for almost a decade. But what I can tell you that gives me a heck of a lot of comfort is slots in game management. You can tangibly as a supporter see the tactics change in the game when things aren't working. And I think if there was any criticism of Klopp, it was probably that they just went on 100% and that was it. So that is really positive, and maybe you'll grow on me. But as of now, it's I'm still a bit unenthused. Switching on the TV every week. Yeah.
Okay, but I suppose also what's been great for them, I guess, or for Liverpool is the fact that the goal conceding record is very good. So like they hardly concede any goals, which is, I guess, not the price, but kind of the added advantage of not playing the rock and roll football. But yeah, it's a bit less kind of exciting to watch, I suppose.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
Jason, to you, I want to pose the question of the yellow card in the game that was given to. Who was it given to?
It was yeah.
Person, do you think that was fair as a yellow card, or do you think it should have been a red card?
Yo, I don't know. This is like I'm still cut open here, isn't it? I think common sense as well. I think it was a yellow card just because of the sheer distance, right? It's not a clear scoring opportunity. You have Colwell right behind him there, which the same way that I don't think Saliba's one was a red card. And that is just solely based on what they've said that they're not going to do, which is give red cards for where there's a massive distance like between the player and where he must still go and stuff. It's just like, I don't think it's just if you're going to give to the one, you have to give to the other. And then it just hurts seeing that when there was no review, there was no check, really. It was just, okay, yellow card done, everybody happy. And it's just, it boils down to the same thing we've been saying over and over for the last few years, the inconsistency in the league. And it really, I mean, people can say what they want, and I think Nikita bore the brunt of this quite a bit. They were like, refs are going against Liverpool. I mean, it was against everybody, but when it happens so often for your team, it feels like there's something going against you. Until it happens for somebody else, then they'll actually realize, like, okay, then it is actually something common. But if it's only happening for your team, then you have to start to question a bit. So I think yellow card is fine. You can give a yellow card. No, doing a game of that nature with an early red card, that's
true.
Like so.
And how did you find the game in general? 2-1 win, a fair result?
I think Chelsea this season might be like I'm not going to say the litmus test, but they could be the banana skin for like every team basically, right? Because nobody knows which Chelsea is going to turn up. It can be the fluid front footballing team, or it can be the team that can just about pass out from the back where Robert Sanchez wants to do everything that he's not supposed to do. You have Nicholas Jackson missing 5 1v1s and then he scores a worldie. Like, it's just they're really up and down, and that's going to happen in a period of transition. So I think Liverpool managed it well. I think Liverpool are controlling more of the games, not in the way that maybe Klopp controlled it with that aggressive style, but it's more subtle. There's more confidence in maybe Alexander Arnold playing at right back, coming inside, because there's that extra cover now. There's a sharper midfield. There's more cover there. It's not a gaping hole when Fabinho suddenly disappeared, So I think there's more control in areas that maybe Liverpool lacked in the last few seasons of Klopp's time there. So I think it's good. I think it really doesn't need to be pretty at this stage. You just get the points. It's October. It's not Martin.
I hear you, but it's very hard to talk about that game without talking about the invisible man. And that is the British Bruno Fernandes in Cole Palmer.
Yeah.
Because this is clearly, to me, he disappears in the big games. He never shows up in the big games. Bags full. Doesn't show up at Anfield. I honestly didn't see anything of him. Honestly, there were times I thought he had been subbed. I think that is definitely a little bit of a beige flag that we have going on there with Cole Palmer.
That's a good
personal opinion.
It's so interesting, right? Because everybody's talk online was like, Cole was double marked. He had this tactic, but it's like all of the best players have to deal with that. I think Salah's been dealing with it since
Salah.
Saka has been having it for this last few seasons. If I am ranking it, it's Salah, Saka. It's that way basically where teams set up to defend them. And now, obviously, if you score 4 goals, people's not going to give you the time and space to do whatever you want to. That's like silly. That's being very naive from the opposition side. So yeah, he now needs to handle being double marked, having tactics where we'll shut down Cole Palmer, and let's see if he can turn up and actually rise up.
Yeah, it's gonna be very interesting to see, because it's also difficult to do it in the center of the field, where I think Salah and Saka, they have double men marking them on the wide, with the man retreating, which is a bit, I guess, easier when you're in the middle and you're in that 10 role and you have 4 people surrounding you at any given time.
Yeah.
It's a bit more difficult to get out of it. But like Nikita said, he was completely missing. Yeah. He was completely missing. And that was super surprising for me. So yeah, for me, I think Liverpool are very good this season. Like you said, Jason, like they now control in places you wouldn't expect them to control, and it makes them look, even though it's not like rock and roll, it makes them look a bit more assured on the ball, I think, which is interesting. But yeah, so we move on quickly to your game, Jason. And the reason why I asked you if it was a yellow card or do you think it was a red card is exactly because of this. I tried to trap you there and didn't really work. But in any case, so Arsenal 2-0 loss, unfortunately. And was it harsh? I'm assuming you're going to tell me it was harsh.
No, I've almost resigned myself to the fact that there'll always be something controversial in any of these games, not just Arsenal's game. So it's like, just draw a line. Just say those sort of fouls would be this, it will be that, but be consistent all the way. Because if you pull up history, right, and I hate to be this guy, but I will wear that crown. There's so many bits of evidence where teams have fallen victim to it, where suddenly freaking Dermot comes on Monday and he says, this decision was correct because of this. And then Howard Webb's now coming on and saying, this is what we have to do. And this what fine. If that's what we have to do, then that's what we have to do. But then do it everywhere. I feel it sounds like I'm a broken record. And okay, maybe Arsenal, I don't buy into the narrative that we ill-disciplined. It's not that. It's like silly stuff. It's like freak of nature stuff, right? Like it was a small tug of the shirt, his knees, and now suddenly it's like this narrative that Arsenal are ill-disciplined. That happens anywhere on the pitch.
I think the record speaks for itself. I don't think it's like the ill-disciplined part. I think it's just the record of the cards is what it's speaking about.
Yeah, but okay, so fair, right?
That can't be denied,
but look back at the sort of red cards that we were getting.
That's true.
And then you'll see that number's inflated by cases where it's never happened before. Like 2 instances this season. Somebody's on a yellow card, kicks the ball away, gets a second yellow, red card. It's Leandro Trossard, Declan Rice, right? In a game that we're up against Brighton at home and a game that we just go ahead against City. Martinelli's red card 2 seasons ago, Michael Oliver's never given 2 fouls in one sequence of play, and he gave it against Martinelli. It's like, if you were to think about it, right, maybe there's a few red cards where Xhaka was just being Xhaka. Right? Xhaka's first season, I think he probably got about 2 or 3 red cards, and one was literally somebody was running away and he ankle tapped him. Like, any rugby player would be proud of that sort of tackle. And yet we have fouls on, I can go back to fouls on Salah. I can go back to last season where I think it was Curtis Jones that was sent off, but there were worse tackles from like Romero and all this. It's like, it's just because they're not being given. It's not like the number of red cards isn't necessarily like it's because it's completely dangerous play. It's just like wild cases. Like sometimes I sit and I'm thinking to myself, how is that a red? Like I've played and that's like, that's soft. Yeah, that's you've sufficiently riled me up now. So thanks for that.
and I've let you go on also.
Yeah.
So am I. Like, so Nikita, I'm gonna come to you now because
please,
after I've let him go on like that for however much he needed to, because I think he needed to.
Thank you.
It's kind of nice to see, like, from your side, Nikita, because it's happened to Liverpool a lot, and it's kind of nice to see someone else kind of having the same issues for once. But just tell him, Nikita, why it was an actual red.
Last man. Both were red. I mean, and even if you say our one was a yellow, there wasn't anyone for 25, 30 meters around Saliba.
Ben White was like
the best.
in line with him, and he was literally on the other side of the circle.
There was no one. He was
wasn't
cutting across field, and Gabriel was, I don't know, getting a bag of knickknacks and an inchie.
No, he was in front.
Yeah, I don't know where he was. Yeah, that's the first thing. The second thing is, even if you ignore the records have happened, I think the reflection that Arsenal fans and yourself, Jason, needs to take on this is we had 4 in the same amount of games last season, and we had 50, and we got 50% more points. I think that champions, even with a red card, go on and get a point out of those games. You don't lose. And I know maybe I'm being harsh, but that doesn't, firstly said you don't get red cards, but
that's true.
Champions don't lose from those positions. You come back and you score a goal. You don't go down 2. That's my opinion. And yeah, you guys need to. And I think what happens every season is that they take the rules and then they firmly enforce it for like 2 or 3 months, and then you see this flurry of reds, and then they say, "Oh crap, we're having too many uncontested games," and they kind of pull back and they say they're going to apply it differently. So the inability of Arsenal to adapt to these conditions, I think, is something that would be putting off alarm bells if I was an Arsenal fan. It's more about how you respond rather than, complaining about the refs, which we will do in any way, regardless red cards or green cards or whatever.
I mean, that's the nature of a fan, isn't it? Those reds that you guys got last season, right?
And the
Could you recall off the top of your head, like who they were and where it was, like what games it actually was?
I remember Diaz Spurs, obviously, because it was like the first or second game of the season. There was the slide goal and and 2 reds in that one, and then McAllister at home, I think. We still went on to win, and we were level when the red card happened. Yeah, and we were level. So I mean, and I know there was another one.
It's a mindset thing. It's a mindset thing.
For me, it's a mindset thing. It's like to get the result.
I'm not trying to like set you up or anything like that, and I think it's not like anything. I can fully understand that it is mindset, and I think Arsenal haven't started the way that we've seen them start in this last few seasons. But I think there has to be some sort of context that's given to it, with the fact that we don't go to these games with Odegaard and Saka, players that can change the game for us. So maybe we've set up in a way that favors their strength. No. So that's, I mean, it's hard to not look at that. When you're losing Luis Diaz, okay, it's fair. It was your second choice winger, right? But you still lost that game against Spurs. Yeah. But you still had your whole back 4. You still had
Robertson got sent off.
And then you still had most of your midfield. It's just a winger that you've lost. We lose.
We got 2 reds in that. We played with 9.
They lost Robertson and Jones. They lost Robertson and Jones.
In one game, we played with 9. Okay. Just repeating it. We played with 9.
No. Okay, fair. So
and
that's
they still
one
beat
game,
us on the day, like attacking. They
on the day, we would have beaten them.
Yeah.
On the day, if our goal had been allowed. So
at the end of the day, it was a loss.
But the way that they were playing is the issue. The way that they played 2 down, that's what we're trying to say. The mindset is you need, if you're short, you need to be able to pull out the victories, or at least play in order to try and get the victories, and not sit back against City with 10 men and have no one in front.
Yeah, but that's foolish, because Arsenal's done that and we've got battered. And even if we lost like that,
and you still lost to Bournemouth.
Yeah,
I don't see the difference. Are you trying to win the league on goal difference?
Taking in isolation, where I'm asking, if you lose your chief creator before the game even starts, you lose your next best player as well. Now you lose one of your most influential centre backs. Like, it's fine if Klopp is able to do that, then fair. But all of the games we are losing, and in previous years when we had a go, we then lose 3 or 4-0, and then people bat us.
That's also true.
Now we play
That's also
to
true.
save a point, and okay, this is one game, right? So we've had 2 red cards. We've drawn both of those games. City, we lost in the very last kick of the game, right? Fair. We lose against Bournemouth, who just on the day seem to be up for anything.
They're a good
It's fine.
team, though, Bournemouth.
Yeah, so it's not the end of the world, and it could possibly be to mindset, but I think there's more to just getting a red card and suddenly just playing the exact same way when you don't have the players that you need to play the same way. That's
I agree
just
with
my
that. I agree.
My
But
counter to
saying
that
they're the
is,
same way.
yeah, I'm not saying you must play the same way. I'm saying you must adapt your style of play to get a result. And also, you can talk about losing an influential centre back or losing a creative midfielder. The man spent £600 million in 3 seasons. Like, I wouldn't. You guys injured Rodri, and I still believe intentionally. They didn't cry. They just made us up. You know what I mean? Like, look, they're a different case, sure, but that is Rodri. He's arguably the best player on the planet. Like, I mean, they wouldn't. No, you don't get no Man City supporters who are moaning about
Because there
Rodri.
are none,
I mean, it's
though. There are none. That's the problem.
there's
You don't
five.
see
There's
them.
5 of them there doing the Poznan. But yeah, I don't know. I just think you guys got to do more to get results in tough situations. When you are a big club and you are competing with Manchester City, the odds will always be stacked against you. Let me confirm. You have to overcome it. And you also haven't played, we've had 2 international breaks, 12-30 fixtures after international breaks, after your manager last season or last 3 years has complained about it. You guys have had lots of Sunday games. I mean, guys, I don't know.
I think the injuries have also the injuries have set them back as well. But
please, let's not talk about injuries.
So
it's
we'll get there on the team news. I'm gonna get there on the team news when we come to the preview. The last thing I want to ask you with regards to this game week that passed is a quick question. In the City game, I'm not sure if you caught it. Stones' goal, was it offside? Was it not offside? How do you feel about that,
offside.
Nikita? I'll come to you first. Offside? Why exactly?
I didn't see it. I didn't see it in real time. I only saw when the goal went in and they showed a replay. I then saw what the referee was checking, and from what the referee saw, I also would have given that goal. It was only after the game when they showed
when they show him, and he's
when they showed Bernardo Silva interfering with the keeper.
Yeah.
I think it was offside. I think it was offside. Yeah. But there's been so much talk about what they show the ref on VAR. Yeah. They're not supposed to show stills. They're supposed to show the whole sequence from the point the ball is before the ball is kicked. Once the ball is live, you're always going to be up against this until they get relegated, if they ever get relegated.
The end of the season. Jason, you agree with that? Offside.
Yeah. Look, there's a clear element of interference, and then there's also even if it's small, if I'm standing here and something's moving, obviously I'm going to feel that there's something impacting. So but it's those things. I think. Look, Gary O'Neill, credit to him, sticking his head out, saying what he said in his interview, knowing what could come. I think. I think lots of clubs know it, but they're almost afraid. And maybe because his back is literally right against the wall, the wall being the bottom of the table. There's nothing else to him, right? So maybe that's why. But I mean, there are far too many instances where too many favorable decisions go their way for there not to be some sort of eye-opening thing, Anyway, that's my thoughts.
That's fair. I'm gonna go completely in the opposite direction just because I like playing devil's advocate, and I'm gonna say it's not offside simply because we've seen people. I guess prior to this weekend, I've seen my own keeper get trapped and nobody's given, even against City, and they've not given anything. And then there was all this whole thing about Vicario doesn't command his box and Vicario doesn't do this and he's not strong enough and all of this nonsense. So because they haven't done it before, I guess I have to say that he didn't really do anything. But that was also before it was offside. Who were we kidding? It was offside. In any case, I was just trying to play the devil's advocate.
What's in Chinese tune mid-sentence?
I was trying to come up with reasons.
So, sorry, just on that, right? So people say for like red cards and things to happen, it has to be dangerous, right? But it's the same. It's the intent that you go. So Martinez 2 weeks ago when he jumps and he like gets the ball, he's off the ground for a solid 6 minutes because he's small, and when he jumps, it takes a while for him to come back. But he's in the air, and if he doesn't get the ball, he breaks somebody's ankle. So they first need to see that somebody gets like seriously injured for it to actually constitute. Okay, that's a foul. The rule says look at the player's intent, and who in their right mind jumps to make a tackle like that? Like that guy is
nuts.
Yeah.
He's
anyway,
nuts.
Just craziness, actually, to be honest with you. I was literally as it happened, I literally gasped because I was like,
I think there was a collective gasp around the world.
Yeah.
It's like,
it was scary.
Look at this guy.
Literally. It was like almost, that
it was going to be
you know the Spider-Man pose? He was almost like literally like in that pose. Like if it was me, I would have fought him. I would have legit fought him if someone had to tackle me like that.
That's super fair. Even if he didn't touch me, I was like, look, guy, like, let's get serious. But in any case, before we get on to this weekend's clash between the two teams, Arsenal and Liverpool, I just want to ask one question quickly, and that is, who do we think is the first manager that is going to be let go? Jason, I'll start with you. Who do we think the first manager is that is going to be let go? Out of the plethora that we have that has the reasons to leave.
There's like for me off the top, I think there's like a top three. It's either Gary O'Neill, shame. He's done very well with nothing. Yeah. Lopetegui at West Ham. I think he came there with a lot of fanfare, but he's not really getting those results. I think West Ham probably let him go because I think he's lost the changing room. And then the last one is Oliver Glasner, Crystal Palace. Those are my top three because Crystal Palace, after the way they ended their season, they lost Anderson, they lost Olise, so probably that's why he'll stay longer. But I'm going to put money and say Lopetegui probably gets fired after this weekend's game.
After this weekend's game, that's a fair statement. Because it is United versus West Ham? Something like that.
Yeah.
Is that what's happening? So
United, one of the 3 good games in the year, that's when they have to go to the London Stadium. Rashford puts in a blinder.
Nikita, on to you. What are you thinking?
I think, it could go either way, but I think it's going to be Gary O'Neill after Brighton this weekend. I think he'll be the first. And then a solid shout for the last manager to go this season.
Okay.
Arteta.
Is that like at the end of the season?
Yeah, at the end of the season after Arsenal win no cups again. Okay. I think he has to go. Like he's won FA Cup in the first season. The first season where he was off season. I think it's
I can't say anything. They've won more than I have seen in my life.
Like, look, everyone has. Even West Ham, to be fair.
That's true. That is true. I think I'll go. You see, what's interesting here, right, is that we are naming managers that have been in the job or with teams that kind of are mainstays in the Premier League, whereas the teams that have come up who are absolutely shocking and are not going to stay up the season are all going to keep their managers somehow.
I mean, even Everton is going to get another 30 points deduction. They're still going to stay up at this rate. It seems
that way. And it's sad for me because I like Ipswich a lot for some reason. I just like their players and the way that they play.
You just like Ed Sheeran, man. Don't lie.
Yeah.
I do like Ed Sheeran.
Have a spin-off segment where you talk about Ed Sheeran and then just say, this orange is local.
I also like the tractors, but it's fine.
Yeah.
I think for me, I'm gonna go with Glasner. I don't want to go with O'Neill because I like O'Neill. I think he's very good and they play really good football as well. It's very interesting to watch. They
also had tough fixtures, eh?
Yeah.
Tough fixtures.
Shoddy games, eh? back-to-back
And
games.
I mean, they
That was the
couldn't.
worst
And
one.
to be fair, they should have gotten a point on the weekend, in our opinion.
Yeah,
No,
Yeah.
for sure.
But yeah, you made a good point though about the Lisang and Anderson thing, but I just compared to what like they did last season and the way that they're looking now, even like the way they're playing, it's not like last season.
Yeah.
At least they were looking like they played decently, like they played front foot football. They were looking good. Like now all of a sudden they wait till the ball comes to the halfway line before they do anything, which is so odd to see. But I'll go with Glasner. No one went to Ten Hag because we're giving him a couple of months and we're thinking that somebody's going to be sacked before that. But you are going to get sacked, mark my words. Sorry, Ayaz.
I don't think it's us giving him, it's more us wanting him to stay. I love drama. So let him stay for a bit longer.
Yes,
that is fair. The drama would be, it is very nice every week. But yeah, so coming on to this weekend, there are two really, really good fixtures to watch out for. It's Newcastle against Chelsea, and of course, Arsenal against Liverpool. Arsenal-Liverpool game is at 6:30 on Sunday. Nikita, I'll come to you. Without Saliba, okay, actually, I'll give that to Jason. But where the key battles kind of that you're going to see this weekend? Where do you think kind of it's going to be won and lost in the game?
I think it's going to be won and lost in the fact that we're going to have to start Darwin Núñez versus arguably the best performing keeper in the league this season. I think that's the battle. I think we win the midfield battle. I think we win the battle at the back. I think worse than losing Odegaard, worse than losing Saliba is the fact that Martinelli is just not firing this season. He looks like a shell of himself, but he's too good not to make a comeback. I just hope it's not this weekend. And then I just think, again, when that happens to your wingers, you need to have guys up front who can score goals. And I just don't think I still have my doubts about Havertz. I just don't think he's a 20-25 a year striker. And I think that's what Arsenal probably thought was what they were getting with Jesus, but that's not what they've got. So for me, I think it really is just going to be us making sure that we can slot our chances, no pun intended, this weekend. And
100%. There's no way you can say no pun intended.
Pun intended.
There you go.
And I think I don't think you're going to have a better opportunity to take points of Arsenal. I think I would be quite disappointed if we didn't come away with 3, even though it's an exceptionally tough place to go. I really want 3 points kind of going into the November kind of international break.
And
not that it's like next week, but it's soon. Because it's every month. Every month we have one. It's like, it's insane.
And in terms of the keeper, because I think that's the only person that you're missing is Alisson and Jota, I guess, as you said, because you have to start Darwin. How do we feel about Komingela?
I think everyone, it's like a bit overplayed now, but I think he really is the best number 2 in the league. I used to think it was Ramsdale, but even he looks like he's a shell of himself. He looks like he's adapted to the lowest Saints stat. But
there's nothing he can do.
But I think Kevin is a great deputy. We're never gonna have someone as good to deputize. I'm gonna be very sad to lose him in the summer. But I'm not concerned about him at all. I really just am concerned about taking our chances and making sure that we get a positive result.
Okay, that's fair enough. Jason, I want to come to you for now, and I'm going to ask you, I guess, who starts? Because Calafiori went off last night as well in Champions League game. So that's going to be hectic. So who starts there next to Gabriel?
Sure. I'm not sure if Steve Bold is still on the book. Maybe we can throw in. I don't know. I think if there were talks that Jurien Timber might be back, so if he goes to right back, maybe Ben White goes into the middle, which isn't the worst. I think he'd be able to, I'm not going to say handle, because I don't think Darwin can handle Darwin, but I think he'd be able to sort of shepherd him like a sheepdog, and just hopefully keep him into the stands where that's where the real action is going to be if his family is there. I think the key battle for me is probably who's going to be at left back, because you have Salah, and I think Salah loves the game against Arsenal. There were talks of Zinchenko being there, and that kind of frightens me a tad bit. And it comes at a bit of an unfortunate time. I think maybe like 1 or 2 seasons, the sort of narrative has changed a bit, where Arsenal can actually stand up a bit and say, look, we'll compete. Not to say that we're going to beat Liverpool every time, but there's at least a bit more fight than previous years, where Firmino, because Firmino's not there anymore, that's why Arsenal feel that they're comfortable to play now. But yeah, it comes at an awkward time to get all these injuries. So yeah, whilst if I had a full team, I'd be confident. I'm a little less confident, especially with how we've been performing. I think we struggle to find answers when it's not a team that allows us to sort of play free-flowing. And we break down teams to an extent, but when your backup winger is Jesus and he's not really getting us goals, when Martinelli, like you say, is not fighting as much, Leandro Trossard, is he good off the bench? Is he good to start? Is he good in the 10? Is he good on the wing? Really, there's quite a few dilemmas which I didn't want in Arteta's 4th or 5th season. This is sort of the time where everybody needs to peak together. Exactly. And it is a bit upsetting. But yeah, I think the key battle for me is probably who has to contain Salah, because Salah is part executioner, but part creator as well. So that's
What if I gave you an option of like Partey at right back and Timber at left back? Would you take that? Or Zinchenko at left back?
I wouldn't mind it actually. I think Timber's done well at left back, and okay, the sample is him playing against Spurs, which isn't really like massive, right? But it's still left back, and he's not really his first choice isn't left back. I'd go Partey there possibly, but yeah, then we just have to show up that central midfield. I don't know what's going to be. I think Moreno's, he's maybe a half or two off where I'd want him to be. So yeah, it's probably going to be Declan Rice and then possibly Jorginho. And whilst it might have worked last season, we also had Odegaard and we had Saka. So it's a very different thing. The sort of fluidity, sort of dynamics, it might be a bit off for those two to play together.
Honestly, I really like what I've seen from Merino so far. But yeah, Nikita was asking a good question.
Saka could start, but it's also 50-50. I think Arteta might be playing it a bit coy, but it's also really early. If he's gonna re-injure a hamstring injury, and I know Ziad will absolutely enjoy this, as somebody who's done the hamstring a few times over, it just takes you longer, man. So
that's what happened to Alisson, right? I mean, that's exactly what happened to Alisson. At the hamstring, out for 2 weeks, and then now out for 6 to 8 weeks. So and he's young, and it's like, I think the biggest irritation for me with Saka is, he's legitimately exceptional, but like his minutes, he's just being overplayed, just like massively. It's just like you don't
the leg, and then all the meat just falls off the cheek. And,
exactly. And you look at I think you could look at Salah. He's like in the best shape of his life. I mean, but like I want Saka to have a career like that, where you're still at your peak at 33, because he's that good. He's legitimately that good. So I really hope he's not rushed. Because I mean, was it last season where he played with the injury for like 3 months or something like that? Something crazy.
No, it's crazy, because also if you go like a smidgen back, he's the guy that saved Arteta's job in the start, and he was 19. So since 19 to 23, which is 4 years, he's been playing almost every minute and being a key player. And then as his importance increases, obviously teams start to be a bit rougher with him and things like that. I mean, look, you're not gonna have this cakewalk that Cole Palmer wants, but I mean, some of the challenges are like legitimately, it sounds like, or it looks like they want to physically harm him so that he can't play, and that's like, it's upsetting.
Yeah, but I mean, you can imagine if he were to play on the weekend, and Robertson is up against him. I mean, he's gonna be rough with him. I mean,
he's off his rocker.
You know what he did to Messi?
Yeah.
He's not dirty, but he's irritating and
exactly that.
He gets under
very
your skin.
cynical. He's just a bit off his somewhere.
No, for sure.
But yeah, I think it's gonna be I agree with you. It would be great to see both teams strength to strength, but that never really happens ever in football, unfortunately, because they play too much football. If anyone from FIFA is watching this or UEFA, this new group thing is stupid. I don't know who we're playing tonight. I think it's Leipzig. Because there's no groups, and this is just too much football. 100% Liverpool. Nah, he's playing. He's not on the payroll yet, so he's definitely Liverpool.
Yo, that's a whole other topic. That's everybody, eh? All of the football players, everybody is now up in arms now with this move.
Do you see the banners at Dortmund and at Mainz? Yeah, I think quite interesting. Obviously, they feel it a lot more than what we do in England. We don't know we didn't live through that Red Bull rebranding. But yeah, I don't think it's. And did you see his title? His title is head of global soccer, not even football. I was like, never. I'll never accept a job like that. I would insist they change that title.
Also, I love what you said about, we didn't feel it here in England. I love that.
Yeah, I was thinking the same. Saying it from like southern suburbs.
Here we go.
That was great. And lastly, just before we end, I want to get predictions from you all. So, Jason, your prediction for the Liverpool-Arsenal game this weekend?
Yo, I would... it sounds weird. I'd run away with a draw in that game. I think it's going to be I think it's a 2-2 draw, to be honest. That's what I'm feeling.
That octave change, eh?
Yeah, no, look, I'm just playing with what I have in front of me. Half of my first choice team is gone. So, yeah, I'm going to go the draw.
Okay, fair enough. Nikita?
1-0 Liverpool.
1-0?
Ooh, KG.
Oh,
you think it's going to be
not KG. Sorry. Let me provide some context. A comfortable. No, I'm joking. 1-0. 1-0, I think 1-0.
Okay, fair enough.
Hopefully, and this is saying for the interest of football, no silly decisions for like either team. I'd like to see both teams finish with 11, and Anthony Taylor is on the game, so I'm saying it to him. Don't do anything mad, man. Don't disadvantage either of the teams. Let's just play the game, bro.
I agree. Don't kick the ball away. Just don't do it. It's just when you have the urge, just don't kick it away. Just don't do it.
Don't pull Darwin down if you are the last man, Gabriel.
I feel like this was,
you can always pull Salah down because you'll never get a red card.
That's also fair. They'll have cover for Salah, man. It'll be on the wide, and actually Salah doesn't run past anymore. Salah's the one that gives the outside of the boot balls into the middle somehow. That's his new favorite thing to do. It's quite crazy. I'm gonna go with. I really don't want to go with a Liverpool win.
You're a Liverpool fan, man. Say it. It's fine.
No.
Yeah, he's a Trent Alexander-Arnold fan. That's what he is.
Oh God, that's the worst thing you could have called me. I'm gonna go with. It's either gonna be a 2-1 win or a 2-2 draw. I think between the two teams.
So what are you choosing? You have to choose one.
Yeah.
Put your head on a block.
It's either
put your trophy cabinet on a block.
Yeah.
The trophy cabinet I'll put on the block anytime because there's nothing in it, so that's fine. I'll go with a 2-1 win to Liverpool because I think that the players missing is massive. I mean, the most creative player and the best centre back in the league is missing. So,
why you putting Virgil comments
there, it's Virgil van Dijk. I mean, it's difficult to look past him. So,
he's very big.
But yeah.
He is very big.
It's going to be difficult. It's going to be a great game, though. I think it's going to be really, really good. I think Arsenal will dominate the ball because Liverpool are more picky about how they're going to go about their kind of attacks. But it's going to be difficult to kind of win the game without your two most important players. But yeah, that's our episode for today. Where can people find you, Nikita, on socials?
On Twitter? Oh, sorry, X.
Call it Twitter.
At Kita___K.
3 underscores.
Yes.
Okay.
Times.
3 underscores, please.
Jason, what
2
about
underscores was taken.
1 underscore was also taken.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's not showing there at the moment now. It was supposed to, but it's at Jason_Ronnie on all of the major platforms. I'm not going to reply to Instagram though. So just if you want to chat, let's
DM him. DM him.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
Don't do that.
Yeah.
We want
chat
South
on,
Africa's second favorite couple to remain together. Do not DM him on Instagram.
Please. Don't.
Please.
Because the favorite couple is now gone. So now we need Jason to stay.
But yeah, I will be there. And I don't normally talk a lot during the game, but after I like to put my thoughts out there. So let's see.
I'm looking forward to the banter between the two of you on Twitter. There has to be, otherwise I'm going to instigate it. I'm going to tag both of you, and I'm going to have to instigate something.
Like a Spurs fan deciding whether he wants to be a fan or be an Arsenal fan. Which side will I play today?
It's great to be not have any stakes in anything. It's great sometimes. You can follow me at @Park_Riaz on Twitter. Come talk a lot of nonsense. It's always fun. And follow the channel, of course, at Sportycast on all platforms: Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, of course. YouTube. Watch our shorts. Like, subscribe, do all that good stuff for us. And I think we just passed 200 subscribers on YouTube, which is great. So thank you for that.
Awesome.
That's awesome. And yeah, follow the channel at Sportycast, and we'll see you next time for episode 90. Hopefully next week. We don't have an international break, but yeah, we'll see you then. Thanks, guys.
Cheers.